Do what you gotta do. Haribo Mata. How many people is here?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Please accept mine.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanto Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanto Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurabani Pracharine Nirvishesho Shunyavadi Pasato Desha Tarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurabani Pracharine Nirvishesho Shunyavadi Pasato Desha Tarine Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vraj Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraj Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanchari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanando Sri Advaita Gadadharu Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanando Sri Advaita Gadadharu Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jayo Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Srila Prabhupada Jayo Jayo Prabhupada Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhuji, your microphone is off.
Okay. Okay. I'm doing from my phone because there is something going on in my computer. Super slow. I don't know what's going on. So we're ready. Let's do this. I'm reading, and I see I never did in my phone, so it will be a new experience to me. You know, in terms of navigating to the little thing here. Somehow, maybe somebody, my computer become very slow. Somebody can help me. So I cannot download my WhatsApp. You know that it's supposed to go there. Anyway, okay, let's do this. Hold on. Okay, let's. Go. 1 minute.
Kushimata, you can share the readings.
We can start.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay. Oh my God, I cannot read this. Hold on, okay? I'm gonna try to go from my computer. Just please stay with me. Okay. Because I cannot read this in my phone. It's super small. Okay.
From Prabhupada to give initiation.
I'm hearing from the phone. So
whatever.
So Prabhupada was scheduled, this one, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhupada was scheduled to give initiation to 7 young disciples this morning. Thus, when we arrived back, the small temple room was already decked with colorful decorations and an unusual fire pit. Instead of using bricks on the outer walls, the devotees had placed a dozen smooth boulders taken from the garden all around the earthen base. It added more natural ambience to the proceedings. When Srila Prabhupada greeted the deities, he saw that provisions had been made on the altar for the proposed 2 new sets of deities. 3 simple wooden dome-shaped canopies perched on slender, polished wood columns, stood side by side, with the beautiful form of Sri Radha Giridhari in the center one. Under the right side dome, there was an empty vase, ready to receive Sri Bhumita. On the opposite side, the tiny forms of Lord Jagannath, his brother and sister, stood before a large base of the bigger deities. After Pusta Swami informed Prabhupada that the devotees had already purchased the deities and had made preparations for their worship, so Prabhupada decided that the ceremony would take place. However, it was too short notice to combine the installation and the initiations. So there will be a second fire dragon tomorrow. Immediately after Guru Puja and a short lecture, Prabhupada initiated 7 new disciples, including some of Mr. Krishna Swami man. In view of Srila Prabhupada's remarks to Tusta Krishna Maharaj in Melbourne, Tusta Krishna made sure they shaved their heads for the occasion. Yes. A reporter in the Herald newspaper conducted a half an hour interview with Srila Prabhupada after breakfast. He asked the usual questions. How many followers do you have? How many centers? When Srila Prabhupada told him he started the movement on the orders of his Guru Maharaj, the reporter mistakenly thought he was talking about one of the Mayavadi gurus who called himself Guru Maharaj. So he asked Prabhupada what he thought about him. Opa. Prabhupada candidly told that only the Krishna conscious movement is presenting the authorized Vedic culture. All the gurus are presenting sentiment only, and anyone who claims to be God is simply bogus. Apparently, some local superficials are trying to ban or chanting in the street. The reporter mentioned this. Tusta Krishna confirmed that there had indeed been some publicity in one or two other cities, some favorable and some unfavorable. Prabhupada was pleased because he said that the agitation against chanting is also good. Even if they say that Hare Krishna is bad, this is also good, because at least you have chanted Hare Krishna. Prabhupada told the devotees that they will become triumphant if they continue to chant and distribute books. But he cautioned them as well. They think the Hare Krishna movement is disturbing a rascal civilization. So let us try our best. What can be done? You also are helping in this movement. So don't spoil the movement by manufacturing ideas. Don't do that. Go on in the standard way. Keep yourself pure. Then the movement is sure to be successful. But if you want to spoil it by being whimsical, then what can be done? It will be spoiled. If you manufacture whims and disagree and fight amongst yourself, then it will be another edition of this so-called movements. It will lose the spiritual strength. Always remember it. Don't make it an ordinary musical vibration. It is a different thing, spiritual. So mantra is not ordinary sound vibration. We have to keep the mantra in potency by offenseless chanting, by remaining pure. If you pollute the mantra, then it will lose the effect. Tusta Krishna informed Srila Prabhupada that they decided to build a temple in their farm and to start deities. Prabhupada was pleased to hear this. He told him that he should build hundreds of such temples all around the country and revolutionize the entire civilization. Okay, next one, please.
Shavik Prabhu.
Hari Bol. Prabhat still found time in his hectic schedule to reply to the letter given to him by the young woman in Melbourne who gave him the gold necklace. Her letter was a moving testimony to the power of association. I could never describe the joy that I now feel after realizing what Krishna consciousness is all about. And what is more, having been so honored to have your divine grace in our presence. We are so fortunate that with Krishna's mastery we have come to Melbourne to teach us and inspire us. I am so happy that at least in my heart I have accepted Krishna and accepted your divine grace as our enlightened spiritual master. Only now I understand why the devotees dance like that. It is so wonderful to have realized that we have been so lucky to have the opportunity to come to God consciousness and to be able to pay our obeisances and prayers. She went on to ask for advice because unfortunately her husband is a meat eater and inimical to the devotees and will not allow her to take their 6-month-old child to the temple. So Prabhupada was very sympathetic but didn't advise her to do anything radical. Rather, he recommended she remain in her present situation and take shelter of Lord Krishna. He said that by always chanting the Mahamantra and by going to the temple as much as possible, Krishna would offer her all protection and make all suitable arrangements for her to be engaged in his service. He also sent a long letter to Sarvabhauma Das explaining the structure of the universe He instructed him to collaborate with our other PhDs and study the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam to construct a model for the Vedic planetarium in Mayapur. My final decision is that the universe is just like a tree with roots upwards. Just as a tree has branches and leaves, so the universe is also composed of planets which are fixed up in the tree like the leaves, flowers, fruits, etc. of the tree. The pivot pivot is the pole star and the whole tree is rotating on this pivot. Mount Sumeru is the center trunk and is like a steep hill, like the Alps mountains, and which also have very high peaks. I have seen in Switzerland one mountain peak which was so high that it penetrated through the clouds. The tree is turning and therefore all the branches and leaves turn with the tree. The planets have their fixed orbits, but still they are turning with the turning of the great tree. There are all pathways leading from one planet to another made of gold, copper, etc. And these are like the branches. These distances are also described in the fifth canto, how far one planet is from another. We can see that at night how the whole planetary system is turning around the pole star being the pivot. Each planet has its orbit fixed, but the sun is moving up and down, north and south. It is not that we shall accept the theory that the sun is fixed up and the others are all going around the sun. That is not correct. Even the seventh star is rotating around the pole star in it's 24 hours. The whole universe is just like a big sea. That is a fact. I do not think that the modern astronomers have any such idea that the whole universe is like a big sea. The planets, which are full of living entities, are one after another, one after the other. The relative positions of the planets is fixed up, but the whole thing is turning. The sun is going north and south. It has its own orbit below the moon. So now you all PhDs must carefully study the details of the fifth canto and make a working model of the universe. If we can explain the passing season, eclipse, phases of the moon, passing of day and night, etc., then it will be very powerful propaganda. I'm sending this letter to you, and you can make photocopies of it and send to our other PhDs and begin serious research into the matter in detail. But one thing I am convinced that the universe is like just like a great sea as described therein. Very well.
Antramata.
Devotees at this temple, I got my first chance to cook for His Divine Grace today. I completely blew it, much to Srila Prabhupada's disappointment and my own mortification. Using the cooker required much more expertise than I thought. It seemed too easy when I watched Srila Prabhupada make his meal in Bombay. I had everything prepared before the massage. I remembered to stop at the right time to put the cooker on the stove. But when I went back at the end of the massage, everything had turned to mush. I had left the flame on too high and vegetables, rice and the dal were all way overcooked. With no time to prepare anything else, I had to serve it was as it was. Needless to say, Srila Prabhupada was not happy. He could not understand how could I have made such a mess. And he told me bluntly that I had no brain. I was too dull to learn, he said, because there was nothing else available. He ate it. But it was a disaster that I don't hope to repeat. There seems to be something going on concerning Madhudvisa Swami, the former GVC for this region. In the afternoon, while Srila Prabhupada was resting, Pushta Krishna Swami interrupted a conversation between Jashamati Nandana Prabhu and myself to question him about Madhudvisa previous activities, particularly during a 3-day period last year when Madhudvisa apparently disappeared on a visit to Fiji. Pushta Krishna couldn't reveal his purpose behind the questions, but it seemed to be linked to the private meeting Guru Kripa Maharaja and he had with Prabhupada when we first arrived in Melbourne. Prabhupada gave an evening lecture from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 20.98 to 102, describing the story of Srila Sanatana Goswami to a packed audience in the narrow temple room. He made a special point of saying that when Sanatana approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Benares, the first thing he did was shave off his beard and hair. This is the one of the items of our movement, he said. If one wants to be initiated, he must be clean shaved. Most of those in attendance were Tushta Krishna Maharaja's men, and most were not shaven headed. After his formal lecture, Prabhupada remained in the temple room until 9:30 p.m. to give a general darshana, and everyone came forward to present gifts one by one. They heaped by Vyasasana with boxes and dried foods, cellophane wrapped presents cellophane wraps presents, fruit, homemade scarves, and woolen hats, socks, and various other items. Prabhupada sat satisfied and happy, giving them all the benediction of his wonderful smile and encouraging words. At least he is here. The difference between the two groups of the devotees seem to have been put aside. Prabhupada is the master of all, and in his presence, the mood is friendly and devotional. Should I continue?
Next,
Yes.
Peter Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandavat Pranam. April 28, 1976. Because of a very tight schedule, Prabhupada skipped his usual work and took a short massage at 5:30 a.m., followed by his bath. Then after donning fresh, clean silk garment, he went down into the temple room to install the new brass murtis of Sri Sri Gauranitai and some very beautiful deities of their lordships Jagannath, Baladeva, and Subhadra. These later were expertly carved by a local boy, Bhakta Barry Jenians. The ceremony went quite smoothly, despite the fairly apparent state of disorganization among the temple devotees. They run rather frantically around setting up the fire yagna, preparing the feast, and reading the altar while Tushta Krishna's followers chanted with their guitars and instruments. Prabhupada remained on his Vyasasana, a simple but impressive high marble covered brick base with a clover shaped marble black, all built onto the rear wall. The devotees sat before him and crowded along the sides and in the door of the narrow room. Prabhupada was beginly as Guru Kripa Swami bathed the transcendental forms of the Lord, chanted the discipline pranama mantras and performed the fire ceremony. There were some minor glitches when the deities were bathed. Some of the paint on Lord Jagannath's face began to run, and when the altar curtains opened for the deities' first darshana, Gauranitai were not wearing crowns. Srila Prabhupada immediately had the curtains closed and reopened when they were properly dressed. He didn't complain. He didn't complain too strongly, though. It was evident the devotees were doing their best, and Prabhupada didn't want to squelch their enthusiasm. Prabhupada himself performed the first arati while the devotees held a jubilant kirtana. After returning upstairs and taking breakfast prasadam, he held a last small meeting with Tushtra Krishna Swami, Yashomatinandana Dasa, and Guru Kripa Maharaja before leaving for Fiji. As the three of them sat before him, he turned to Yashomatinandana and said, "So you stay here and take care of these people. There are some good prospects among them." He also told him that now that the larger Jagannatha deities were installed, he must hold Rath Yatra. His final instruction to Tushta Krishna Swami was that he should build a temple, install deities, and train his men to Brahminical standards. He wants him to bring his men up to the standards of worship as done by the devotees of Melbourne. There was a big send off at the airport as we waited for our flight. Srila Prabhupada sat serenely and stately as the entire assembly of devotees settled in a large semicircle on the floor in front of him. An atmosphere of blissful tranquility seemed to envelop the gathering as everyone took a last darsana of His Divine Grace. Hari Ramadasa, a former rock group member, now with Tushta, began to play his guitar and chant Hare Krishna to a gentle, lightning melody. Guru Kripa Swami began to play kirtanas softly as accompaniment. Prabhupada, however, stopped him, allowing the boy to sing solo for a few minutes as he listened with obvious pleasure. Smiling boldly, Prabhupada gave him his garland. In this way, he encouraged Tusta men to continue their chanting, knowing that as long as they did this, even if they never agree to cooperate with ISKCON, they will continue to be purified and make spiritual advancement. He is their spiritual master and wants to keep them somehow connected. When the time came to depart, everyone followed His Divine Grace right to the boarding gate door, chanting all the way. Our plan, our plane departed for Nandi, Fiji at 11 a.m. Hare Krishna Mata.
Okay, Prabhuji, next, please.
Okay,
Khushi Mata,
Prabhu.
you want to read?
हरि बोल मेरा वॉइस क्लियर है क्या हरि बोल
Hare Krishna, yes, Mata.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Chapter 3 Fiji after 28 to 1976 we arrived in Fiji at 1:30 p.m. present at Nandi Airport Lautoka to greet Srila Prabhupada with fresh pregnant garland of frangipani and marigold were Upendra Dasa, Mr. D.O.G. Panja and a small gathering of their friends. Mr. Panja is a respectful, humble, middle-aged man who has seriously taken up Krishna consciousness. Okay. Middle-aged man who has seriously taken up Krishna consciousness, observing all the regulated principles and chanting the Mahamantra every day. After seeing Srila Prabhupada's success in spreading Krishna consciousness in Australia, he was inspired to build an ISKCON temple here. Descended from Gujarati immigrants, his family is prominent in the area and have extensive retail interests. Now he is personally raising the funds to build a beautiful temple. Prabhupada has recommended that they install the deity of Kali Krishna. He explained that Fiji was the island where the serpent Kalia lived after Garuna drove him from his home. Later he went to India where he polluted the entire Yamuna river, causing Lord Krishna to chastise him. After this, Kalia returned to Fiji. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada said, there are no snakes in Fiji because Kalia ate them. Mr. Pancham informed us that according to a centuries-old local legend, there is a galactic many-hooded snake said to be living in a cave in the interior of the island. The temple is to be built here in Lautoka. It will have three large domes, following the same basic design as ISKCON Vrindavana, but on a smaller scale. It will be the first custom-built ISKCON temple outside India. Mr. Panju drove us to his brother's house where we quickly settled in installing Prabhupada's dictaphone and other paraphernalia in a small room reserved for his daytime use. Srila Prabhupada sat on a couch in the living room and the whole family gathered around. With great respect, they bathed Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet with scented warm water. The house has been visited around Srila Prabhupada and his party full use. It is not big, only a few rooms, so Guru Kripa Maharaj and I are sleeping on the wide veranda that encircles it. Prabhupada likes Fiji's tropical climate very much, and the island seems largely unspoiled, with few trapping of tourism and little of the garbage advertising typically of holiday resorts. There is no television station, and much of the natural beauty of the island is preserved. On the way to the house, I noted many large, heavily laden mango trees. Although this is not quite the season yet, Prabhupada did comment unfavorably, however, as he had done in Gujarat last December on the concentration in their agriculture on just one cash crop, in this case sugarcane. April 2019 to 1976. With a few visitors, the day was quiet and Prabhupada has been able to relax. Fiji appears quite a paradise. Pronunciation. Very good.
You good?
Prabhu, reverse the pronunciation. This easy appears quite arrogant.
Paradisiacal.
Paradise. But it is not perfect. Srila Prabhupada was disturbed by a constant night-long howling emanating from what seemed like a multitude of dogs. It started off in one quarter of town and flowed like a cacophonous wave around the entire district, and this prevented Prabhupada from translating. Hari Bol. The next one.
Next.
Prabhu, will you read? No one is reading right now.
Okay. Puska Krishna and Guru Kripa had a meeting with Mr. Punja to discuss the programs he had proposed for the next few days. Despite his objections, they put pressure on him to cancel some involving travel to other parts of the island and to minimize most of the others in the hope that Prabhupada can translate and rest instead. But their coercive tactics disturbed Mr. Punja, and with encouragement from myself, he went to see Prabhupada for a final decision. Srila Prabhupada became angry and immediately called for his secretary and GBC. Pushta explained that they were only trying to avoid inconvenience Prabhupada, but Srila Prabhupada corrected him. For someone my age, the inconvenience is that simply in traveling, but I have accepted that willingly for the sake of preaching. Now we are here for the benefit of the local man. We are in their hands. So now you make arrangements for whatever programs the OG wants. We shall stay as long as required. It was a valuable lesson for Srila Prabhupada's new secretary. This is one of the main difficulties of being part of his personal team. And Pusta Krishna Swami is now beginning to understand that Prabhupada's servants are here to assist him, why to see to his personal requirements and make life as easy as possible for him so that he can concentrate on his real business of spreading Krishna consciousness, especially through his book writing. Yet, at the same time, assisting Srila Prabhupada means having to make arrangements that we know bring personal inconvenience and even disruption to his health. It is easy then to get caught in seeming contradictions. But Srila Prabhupada's preaching strategy means that consideration of personal comfort and convenience is secondary. In his servant's business, it is his servant business to understand and serve his desire to preach, not our own concepts of provide protective relief. That's interesting. April 3rd, 1976. I keep it ready, huh? Since there is no temple, we have no set program, but there is still plenty of opportunity to hear Srila Prabhupada. Hold on here. Speak. He's always happy to sit and talk with us, offering revealing insights into preaching strategy, mean for saving others, and simultaneously giving us a deeper appreciation of our relationship with him. Today, he was talking about Bhagavad Gita and the duty of the spiritual master, which he described as how to benefit the disciple. Prabhupada told us that because Arjuna offered himself as a disciple, Krishna chastising him. You rascal, you are talking little, like a very learned man, but you are on the platform of bodily concept of life, the platform of the animals. Quoting one of his favorite verses, Yasa Buddhi Kuna Petri Dhatuke. Prabhupada said, anyone who accepts his body as the self is not even a human being. So the whole world is on this bodily concept of life, Prabhupada told us. That's going on. American, European, Hindu, Muslim, black, white, and this and that. They do not know what is education. This is the first education. You Okay. You rascal, you are not this body, you are within the body. So who understands this? Are they declaring that we are students of Bhagavad Gita? He said that although Gandhi had his photograph taken with Bhagavad Gita, he was fighting for nationalism. But in Pakistan, they were also doing the same thing. So what was his credit as a student of the Gita? Nobody was learning the real message of the Bhagavad Gita, that this soul is different from the body. It is first time that they are preaching Bhagavad. It is first time that we are preaching Bhagavad Gita as it is, Prabhupada said. Otherwise, everyone is misled. Pusta Krishna Maharaj informed him that generally people don't come to hear our philosophy, but simply because they like the prasadam. So you have not coming, Prabhupada said, but you have come to take prasadam. It is got good connection with Krishna. Therefore, we welcome you that at least for eating, you are coming to Krishna. Gradually, you understand Krishna by eating only. Krishna is not so easy to be understood, but we're giving you a facility to eat Krishna Prasada so that one day you understand this movement. This is the policy. We're not poor feeding. This is not our philosophy. We're giving you Prasada, and that is a fact. And that by eating, one day you become Krishna consciousness. Simply by eating, because you are so dull, you cannot understand the philosophy, but you know the value, like the animals. So we are giving the facility. All right, feel upper belly, and you'll be infected. And you take food stop from infected area, you become infected with some disease. So this is Krishna infected prasad. You take it, and one day you'll be diseased with Krishna consciousness, and that is a fact. Someday or other, let him come in contact with Krishna. Some way or another, let him come in contact with Krishna, he'll be benefited. Some way or another, let him come to the light. May he dim light, but for very bright, big light. Light is light. So if anyone understands that there is a soul which is conducting the business of the body, then he can very easily understand that there is a super soul who is conducting the business of the whole material manifested world. If you convince someone that the body is useless, a lump of matter only, but I'm sorry. But the soul is the prime factor. Similarly, you very easily understand that there is a huge, gigantic material body of earth, water, air, fire, sky, and they are working so wonderfully on account of the super soul. He described our bodies as a small universes with our presence within it. He said the body cannot function. So why do you think the greater universe is going on automatically? He used one of his favorite examples, that of the 747 jumbo jet as a comparison. Without the pilot is useless. Therefore, it is the pilot who is important, not the machine. The new temple's cost is calculated to be F 140,000. F must be like a local money there. All the funds will be raised from the local population by a life membership program. Puncha Família has given 24,000 outright for the project, and the OG has personally canvassed the area with Upendra and signed up over 125 life members at the rate of 333 each. Prabhupada is extremely pleased with his efforts and is keen to encouraging him in any way possible. Just over 50% of the population is of Indian origin, many Gujarati. So Prabhupada sees very good prospects here for spreading Krishna consciousness. May 1st, 1971. We three disciples gathered in Srila Prabhupada's room this morning. Led by Guru Kripa Maharaj, we sang the Guru Astaka prayers as Srila Prabhupada sat behind his desk. After a few verses, Srila Prabhupada interrupted to tell him that he was mispronouncing the refrain, Vande Guru Sicharana Ravinda. It is Guru, not Guru. Vande Guru Sri Charanavinda Guru. So Prabhupada told him, go means cow. The spiritual master is not a cow. Which Vande Guru. Okay, I'll make a note of that. Everybody pay attention. A program arranged at the local school hall was disappointingly ill attended, for only about 30 adults came, some Indian and some native Fijian. But Prabhupada was undoubted and spoke with the same strength and conviction as he always does, completely unattached and transcendental to material concepts of profit or loss, success or failure. Bring it up, Lisa. Thank you. There are not many engagements or visitors, so Srila Prabhupada often called in the sannyasis or whatever else is around to discuss Krishna conscious philosophy with them. Always enlivening to preach and to encourage his disciples to preach, he needs to no prompting to speak. He simply rings his bell, and when someone comes, he sits them down and begins to speak on the Bhagavad Gita. His favorite topic are modern science and now pseudo-spiritual cheating processes. He has us look up various verses in the Gita and read them out, often along with his purports. And then he elaborates the philosophical points by relating them to practical examples. Prabhupada doesn't just know the highest philosophical concepts, he knows the application, and this is what makes him such an effective preacher. He convinces us because he relates everything to situations within our daily experience. Discussing the position of the soul within the body. He had Guru Kripa Maharaj read out in the chapter 15. The living entities in this conditional world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditional life, they are struggling very hard in the six senses, which includes the mind. He gave a simple, effective comparison. So with this instrument, he's manipulated this machine. As exactly the pilot with so many electronics machine is working the flying of the plane. What is it difficult to understand? His body is a machine. Ramayam Sarva Bhutani. The aeroplane is wandering, this machine is wandering. Udvan Gachanti Sattva Staha. Sometimes up, sometimes down. Find out this. Guru Kripa flicked to the page of the Gita, Srila Prabhupada continuing with the demonstration of this example. Some aeroplanes going up and down, two wings, his hand like this. Guru Kripa read out the verse. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upwards to the high planes. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planet, and those in the mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds. Bhagavad Gita 14:18. So the same thing Srila Prabhupada explained. If the pilot is not expert, then he goes down to the lowest, finished. Ado Gachanti Tamasaha. If the pilot is third class, instead of going up, it goes down, and everything is spoiled. So everything on the pilot, the machine is not important. The machine can go up if the pilot knows how to do it, and the machine can go down. Actually, it is happening. This landing point is very dangerous. If the pilot cannot handle very nicely, immediately smashed. All crises take place while coming down or going up. I have seen sometimes they clap as soon as they Prabhupada clap his hands, leaning and raise his eyebrows as if in relief, make us all laugh. Oh, the danger is over. Bring it up, please. In this way, he said, you have to place the subject matter that the living entity, the soul, is the important thing within the body. On account of this ignorance, he's struggling. Mana sastanindrani prakrutistani kapsati. This is his position. He said that since the body is temporary, he must die one way or the other. Learned person do not lament over it, but still, he said, there was something to lament. So what is to lament after the body? Lamentation is that the person within the body, whatever is going to hell or heaven, udvam gachanti or tamo gachanti. That's a real concern. Body will be finished today or tomorrow or after 100 years. Who can protect it? But one should be interested with the owner of the body. What is going? What is his next position? There are three status: up, down, and the same. Anybody wanna read or keep it? Okay.
From here, right?
Huh?
From where, Prabhu?
Pusta Krishna, observe.
Pushta Krishna observed that the mass of people think that life is finished with his body and are unaware of the souls going up or down. This elicited a typically strong response from Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, they are rascals. And for the rascals, the Bhagavad Gita teaching is there. Learn. They are giving the stress on the body. That body is finished. Everything finished. They do not know beyond the body. But the real knowledge begins. No, you are beyond this body. This is the beginning of knowledge, telling us that people are accepting ignorance as knowledge. He identified a couple of the modern culprits who are the cause of this. He had some very strong words to say about them. Darwin's theory. It is simply speculation on ignorance, and it has been taken as knowledge. Freud's, uh, Freud's philosophy is the business of the hogs and dogs, and it has been taken as philosophy. Even the hogs and dogs know how to enjoy the sex life. On account of sex life, they have written a philosophy. Is that philosophy? These rascals, they are ajnanam, dealing with sex life, dealing with the body as their philosophy, science, and their passing on as philosopher, scientist. This is their position, the whole world. So, how much Krishna consciousness is important? Just imagine. Much to our amusement, he have a graphic example to illustrate the materialist's real positions. They are animals. What the dogs will understand when there is one lady dog and one dozen dogs will come, smelling the best part of the body. This is their philosophy. So Freud is that base part of the body. He is writing philosophy. Just see, this is the position. How low taste hogs and pigs business, and writes philosophy. His books are selling like anything. he made it clear that he made it clear that there is the dearth of real knowledge in every field. They are eating meat. They have no even human sense. What is that religion? They have not even the sense that I am cutting throat of one poor animal under my protection. If somebody cuts my throat, how much I am unhappy. And I am doing the same business and I am a human being. How can I tell myself as a how can I call myself a human being? I have no sense even of compassion. Cats and dogs are passing on the religionists. Some hogs and pigs are going on as philosopher. Another animal is going as scientist. Darwin. They are animals only, cats and dogs. They are leaders of the society. How you can expect any benefit from them? The leaders themselves are cats and dogs, pigs. These leaders, they are samstutaha. They are very much worshipped. By whom? Swavid Varas Barahostra Kharei, by the dogs and the pigs, the camel, and by the ass. He is aware that this is election year in America, and he did not neglect to mention the politicians. Suppose one man has become lion and he is praised by dogs, camels, asses, and pigs. Naturally, they will praise, "Oh, sir, you are the king." Does it mean he is king? He is animal, so it's going on. They are electing a pig animal as president, and when the big animal begins to eat other animals, then they protest. Oh, now he is not proper president. Get him down, get him down. But why you sent him? Because we are pigs. We have no other knowledge. We appoint another big pig as our president. Everything is explained in the Vedic literature. If you can present them properly, it will act. The voters are Swavid Varahotra Khare. The president is another big animal. That's all. This is their real picture. One who is a human being, he is seeing that how the animals are enjoying by voting and electing president. But they are thinking, we are busy in a very great business. We are electing president. Prabhupada's expose and mimicry had us all laughing. Although his message is most serious and his incisive appraisals of modern society cut to the bone, he still has the wonderfully sharp sense of humor which he uses very effectively. This is not contradictory. Prabhupada is neither cynical or nor whimsical. He is simply objective. His business as our spiritual master is that of a true sadhu, to cut off all our attachments to this material world and free us to go back home, back to Godhead. No one is more competent to do this than he. Hari bol. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. We have a red card. Where's Neha?
Nehmata is left.
Left us. Oh. Okay, so this is how to say, this is 9:30 now. So we leave the rest. It's May 2nd, 1976. Okay. Haribol? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
All right.